What's up, guys? It's your boy, Bboy Vinzel, aka Vince Ryder. Yes, I'm the guy that reads the webtoon, but also deep in my heart, I'm still a B-boy, and that's why I listen. I just got back from watching Flea Rocks and Dizzy's panel, B-boy Dizzy, legendary B-boy from Canada, and also Flea Rock legend, Skill Methods, originally from New York, but now lives in LA. Their little panel, and two of them are proud owners of B-Boy brands, breaking brands that are for the culture, and also part owners of like two sneaker company slash leisure wear for breaking, Dizzy Treads, and also Flea Rock's very own First Class, and hopefully to see the V1s coming out, his first ever sneaker, and in First Class. So there's two brands, and it just made me really think, like there's something within breaking that is growing. And when I look at the bigger picture, I couldn't help but be so proud and be so blown away from the breaking community and the culture that it's just growing. It's just something that's like they've been struggling to make this happen for years. And things are just moving in motion. It's not big yet, but it's going to be. The moment when I saw that video, I was in for a treat, that knowing that they were preaching the truth, especially when they brought the whole reason, like how much b-boys make and how much money is in the industry and how it's going to be an industry someday, and how things are just slowly moving because of the Olympics and all that. I saw it and I'm just like, man, this gets me motivated to the point where I have to make a video and talk about brands and talk about sponsorships, especially now recently. Of course, I do this daily, not really daily, but monthly. So here I am, you know, midnight, supposed to go to bed, but instead I wanted to make this video because I just feel passionate to actually just talk about breaking, and I wish I was in that panel actually talking to them, asking questions, stuff like that. But yeah, shout out to Flea Rock and Dizzy for that amazing video panel. Pretty much it's in Flea Rock's channel, and you can check it out. Link in the description. My goodness, very inspiring. But yeah. Other than that, let's get into some highlights first. JBL Breaking just had their event. I saw the Emir versus Jeffro. That was cool. Style Invaders, my goodness. Belgium is just like killing it. And Style Invaders are just like just going through, like, especially that they went to Croatia with that Break the Floor, or I think Slovenia. That, yeah, they just annihilate so much. Like, I see Jordy just getting better and better, and the rest of the group. Also, Nevs and Dr. K is in there. Never seen them travel and breaking before, but that's a first. I see them around the B-Boy network space, but never in like another country. So I'm like, whoa, this is cool. And also Marginals Jam, 5. I think it's in France. Pretty much I saw a couple battles in there. Mainly saw Willie and Pac Pac doing their thing. So that was cool. And also a couple of other events. I saw the B-Boy City, which is pretty much I seen a couple things in the B-Boy City. Stance just uploaded some of the videos. Saw Strong Murda versus like BC1 All Stars. Pretty much like 2 times over since they had been battling a lot in there. Not only in the prelims, like it's weird. They battle in the prelims, but you would think like Sean Murda, like the ones that lost the prelims would lose. But then they battle like BC1 All Stars again. They're already like in the finals. I'm like, it was kind of confusing. Like, how does this happen? Was this like an exhibition and then it goes into the finals? I'm like trying to add that up. But nonetheless, BC1 All Stars also has some like extra B-boys and B-girls in them. Like some of the B-boys from Rock Force was in there. And also another couple of other main people was like, Jerry Metal was in there, which I never thought that he was I don't know. Maybe it's part of like just like an super crew all-star group in that one. So it's like it came out of nowhere. And also El Nino's in there as well. So I was like confused. Then again, I wouldn't be surprised that, Red Bull happens to own so many B-boys and B-girls dance for Red Bull. And it's like they own breaking, but hopefully one day that doesn't have to be the case. Because after that panel with Flea Rock and Dizzy, I just know that other brands can actually achieve more than Red Bull did. Even though Red Bull at this point and Monster Energy is like the only ones that are really supporting breaking big, like I just really want to see some other brands, not just energy drinks, and not a lot of b-boys and b-girls, you know, buy energy drinks, especially Red Bull. That's like I don't like I remember trying to buy one and I was like, my goodness, like $4 for an energy drink like this, especially now how things are just more expensive nowadays here in America that like I'm not spending no $4 for like I'm just stick with water or whatever I have in my cabinet basically. But speaking of Red Bull, BC1, I saw a couple of BC ones, and also I saw the one in Spain a couple of weeks ago. Also, the one in Portugal. Shout out to XXL, he was killing it there. Um, Japan, haven't seen the B boys yet. I seen a little bit of B girls. I haven't seen both of them. I'm just gonna say it. I seen the highlights, and I pretty much seen some highlights from Ayane. Also some highlights from some of the B like Kaku was also in the Japanese one because why not? He was doing this. The mostly head spin stuff that he's known for, and yeah, I think I had to rewatch it to get the full picture. Korea, I think they had theirs. I remember seeing one from the because I followed the Red Bull Instagram page where they had Team Siri versus Team Yell, B Girl Yell from Gamblers, and also B Boy Siri, which is a B boy that I'm unfamiliar with, but I guess he's dope and he seems to have his own group battling with a team, with another team which is basically uh Team Yell. So yeah, just seeing this a little bit, not a lot of it, but highlights of it. I'm gonna have to find a way to actually find a video to where I know what it is, but it looks cool. And also Holland, kind of want to like pretty much the Netherlands had their BC1 qualifier event. Shout out to Shane for winning. I want to say this. I noticed that in this particular, especially in the Netherlands, I just noticed that there is literally no one was like there was not a lot of hugging, and there was not a lot of like, and that's the one thing when it comes down to battles that I see in the breaking world. I always want to see like in the end if they got like dap and hug and pretty much like high five or just give fist a quick fist bump, nothing crazy like hey nice battle man, stuff like that. There was not a lot. I think that I only saw like at least to me in my knowledge five that was actually giving handshakes and showing respect and showing love. And the thing is that it's not really like anything of a big deal, but I just notice it that a lot of the b boys, especially with the b boys, the b girls, I kind of see them somewhat getting along, but the b boys in this one, whether it's like Kid Columbia losing, he didn't care, he just walked out of the stage, and I saw some of the other like what was it? It was like some of the other like B-Boy Dusk. I'm surprised that he kind of like lost early, but he got there very, you know, early when he lost, and that was just it for him. No shaking hands or anything. So it's kind of like what was going on? Like what's up with this? It was pretty whack to see, there was no respect in some of this, like that they were given, and I'm just like, I just basically have to say like, yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, that I hate seeing like no respect not showing, like especially like I'm okay if it was just one crew battle. I mean, not crew battle. If it was one battle that they just didn't give no hugs and no love at all. But if it's like literally the whole entire event that basically was just like more than one battle that they didn't give any sportsmanship or anything like that, or basically respect, any respect, like it just seems like off. It just seems like something was going on within this. I don't know if they, one of the hosts was like, hey, you don't need to shake hands or anything, make it beefier or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Netherlands kind of like, but it was a cool battle seeing like, one of my favorites, and that's cool. And Shane, B-Boy Ozzy, of course, killing it. So it was cool. It was okay. And also, I've been seeing these travel tours that Red Bull, pretty much been doing. They did one with Gdansk with Kleju, B-Boy Kleju from Polski Flavor, and Toronto with Bigoro Kanatsu. from Supernaturals, but also Nike, the Nike team, Toronto. Like she's like sponsored by Nike, and yeah, it just seems this is kind of cool. There's some good areas around this that I like of traveling and seeing it. It just makes me want to go there. Especially the Toronto one. I just felt this sense of like peace and what I seen. I don't know. It's either that or Gdansk. I don't know. They make these look nice. Other than that, yeah, let's get into also like I saw this one is a little old one. MCK they had their like a clean they won the clean and unexpected. Shout out to MCK. And BBIC, I saw a couple of battles and showcases. I like the world famous, the Poppin' Showcase. Also, I like the battles, especially seeing Pocket back battling. I mean, that was cool to see. It was cool to see, Pocket, B-Boy Pocket back, doing his power and stuff like that. And I haven't seen battle in forever. But man, that was cool to see, especially teaming up with B-Boy Kill and Rush and like that was just a cool way to see it. Other than that, yeah, let's get into a couple of stuff, a couple of like, news and surrounding I guess shoe brands, and that's what I basically want to talk about. I really, hopefully one day, and this is something that is my dream of one day being sort of like the B-boy analysis, the one that does the analysis that, analyzes different B-boys and B-girls, seeing how they feel, seeing their emotions through their eyes, and what's their state and what's best for them, and knowing who they are and where they came from, and knowing their stats of like how many battles they win and how they're getting better, and just other stuff, especially how the Olympics is coming. Who knows, that could be an opportunity and somewhat of a position that I might be part of as a part job or something. It's just something in mind that I kind of like was like, yo, this would be dope. This would be something that I would like to see. But yeah, let's get a couple of like one of the B-boy brands out of the way real quick, because after seeing like Dizzy and Flea Rocks, and I just gotta keep reminding of that like amazing panel they did of them talking about like shoes and clothing that supports basically the breaking culture. Well, I got a couple of some here. And I guess for like ever since like the beginning of 2020 that I've been really interested of B-boy brands and seeing what they can do to actually change the culture. I mean, recently I've been very into clothing. I've been into like sneakers and how it plays a role. And I like how what Flea Rock says, like, your own clothing is basically your superpower. And that is so true. When I wear clothes, especially when I'm going to work, there's a certain clothing that I wear. I wear jeans, but I also wear comfy shoes like Vans and casual t-shirt and sometimes a hat. And also like I bring my, man purse with me. That's what I tend to bring whenever I like go to work, my patch. And when I basically go out skateboarding, because I do skate, I of course bring my skate shoes. I sometimes like wear Vans, but also I be rocking like Adidas, since that's the comfiest shoe I have at the moment, or my New Balance, since like I think I remember, like I think I was like if there was ever like a skate sponsor that if I was part of, New Balance, but hopefully they ever be part of Break It Up, because that would be cool, and just jeans and cargo pants, and also like a shirt, usually like for like sweating, like one of my sweat proof t-shirts with the certain fabric that is athletic use, sweatshirts, I guess, that I would wear. And pretty much, of course, a backpack where all my waters and backpack and my towels basically inside my backpack. Keep saying backpack in the same sentence. Okay. And also within breaking, I wear basically, there's this certain shoe I got from Walmart that I wear because sometimes when I break, my sneakers get torn, and I don't want to get my shoes, and some of my shoes I don't want to get them like torn away. Sometimes I do rock my Nike Cortez, and sometimes I just rock with these casual shoes that I found in like Walmart. So, and because they're cheap, I'm totally okay of actually doing whatever I want to do when I do dance with them. And some of you might see them. I do wear some of the fancy shoes like my New Balance and my Vans and some of my Adidas and my Pumas for just the video, just for fanciness, I would say. But there's a couple of sneakers that I really want within the breaking community that I've seen. Sure, there's the Dizzy Trez, Flea Rock's new shoe, which for the first class. But man, I've been seeing a couple out here. Let me tell you. And one of them is pretty much me gonna be talking about some of these sneakers that I've seen. Algori shoes, which pretty much I saw in GQ, surprisingly, and it's like the smallest shoe brand that's from Portugal, and they're sponsoring B-boys not only from Portugal, but they sponsor like Kid Glide from New York, B-boy Sack from Spain, and the Ratin from Brazil. So Algori Shoes is actually making a team, and they're a sneaker brand. They're making a team of B-boys and B-girls, and it's slowly growing, and it's slowly becoming big and somewhat famous. And it's like, this is a shoe brand that came out of nowhere, and it's famous. I think that's the same thing when I saw Sakani, and when Sakani sponsored B-boy Jeremy and B-boy Rad Canaris, like that was sort of like it was not a big deal in the B-boy culture, but it was a big deal to me knowing that this was a known sneaker brand back in the day that is slowly killing it, especially when I seen Skechers sponsoring B-boys from China. Like, I remember that wasn't a big deal because I'm just like, Skechers, really? Like, really? Like, pretty much I remember owning a Skechers when knowing that it just like didn't last well, at least for me. But that's what I kind of see, especially with shoe brands, that they're sort of making an impact within breaking, knowing that it's gonna build some kind of like fortress of teams, and also like how it's gonna grow from breaking, and how it's gonna one be adaptable to many sports. And other than that, I think that's the same thing with Catch Rec, that Gravity's brand, especially how I saw like a story time that was at a store somewhere, and Gravity pretty much put like Catch Rec. He said it's gonna be like the Vans of breaking, which I don't see that happening, because I don't in Catch Rec I see shoes, I don't see no slip-ons, because of course Vans is known for slip-ons, at least that's what I have. And it's like that, Catchwreck is planning to actually not only sponsor breakers, but other people like, BMXers, skateboarders. And I guess that's kind of like sort of like what he means by the advance of breaking, of actually other sports, not just breaking, but, part of it. And mainly breaking because, that's obviously Gravity's brand, and Gravity's a B-boy. So it's got to be something that, he's going to be part of. And when I see Al Gore's shoes, I'm not sure who owns it, but who knows? Like, some of these big B-boys, when they do get bigger because of the Olympics coming, which is Paris 2024, some of these shoe brands could actually grow within them. And it's going to be a bigger thing. It's going to be like, who knows? Al Gore could be the same thing I seen within, like, I think I see them like as, some of the, like what? Like Converse and skateboarding, not that big, but it's still in a good place. Or, like Fallen Shoes, which is a skateboarding brand. So it could follow in that direction. I'm not sure. Other than that, also Humble Clothing by Green Tech. That looks dope. He made, Green Tech is a known popper, in the popping community. He sometimes break here and there, but he's part of the pop and dance, and he's been in a lot of B-boy events, like a couple of them. Some of them have like these popping events, especially the bigger B-boy events, and you see Green Tech from Canada just ripping them to shreds. He's known as like the true battle cat within popping. That dude's a savage. Like, he doesn't care, and he made his own brand called Humble Clothing. And I really hope one day I actually own a couple of, because there's a couple of these clothing I would just like a shirt and a pants. They look pretty dope, and he's known in his hat that he's known for. So it was a cool thing to see this, especially how Green Tech, kind of like got the rights for the Chinese manufacturer to actually create this clothing. And seeing the clothes itself looks pure, especially how with the cloud blue kind of looks very nice with some of the jackets that he's putting out. Kind of looks like some kind of baggy clothing, but it will be looking nice for me to break on them. That would be nice. Other than that, speaking of MCK, because Green Tech is part of MCK, my Zulu Kings, and yeah, pretty much already talked about my Zulu Kings earlier, but MCK collaborated with New Era, the known fitted cap company, New Era, and they collaborated with New Era in hopes of like with Kanatsu in relation with Kanatsu One, from MZK, and pretty much they're sharing the story. And also, they kind of made a jacket. I need to look back because MZK collaborating with New Era made a jacket related to MZK because and My Zulu Kings is known for their vests, like the vest they have, and they have like the MZK logo behind it, and they're just rocking it, and it's just like the rawest thing. And of course, like My Zulu Kings is like a big inspiration of my breaking, or at least the way I look at breaking. So that's pretty cool. Hopefully to see bigger futures for that, especially how like newer. People be thinking like, oh, it's just like Red Bull and Monster that's supporting breaking. Actually, no, there is a couple of supporting breaking. There's surprisingly some big brands, but it has been in and out within breaking. Red Bull and Monster, they kind of stayed within breaking. But New Era, at least in Japan, happens to actually been supporting some B-boys and B-girls like B-boy Issei, B-girl Ayane, Kanatsu. The whole MCK team from Japan actually has been supported by New Era. So it's not just them, but it's kind of like a small amount. It's not international. It's not that big or anything. But hopefully, like again, in the future. And speaking of big brands, I want to talk about Carlota. So Carlota is sponsored by Adidas, believe it or not. I know Adidas play somewhat of a role within breaking. Like, I think they gave like free clothing to Rivers Crew. Adidas also did somewhat of a collaboration with Flomo Crew from Finland. And also Crazy Legs has like a jersey from Adidas. And Adidas was even inside a Bboy video game. Bboy the game, which is available in PSP and was actually released somewhere around 2005 or something, like a long time ago. And yeah, they had like, there was literally a Bboy video game. I wish there was a new one since, I don't understand why there isn't. But like, yeah, pretty much the first like kind of like major B-boy video game had like a bunch of Adidas clothing within that video game, which is surprising. You would think like it would be like Puma Sways or Nike or something like that. No, it was Adidas. There was even an Adidas event that it had. So that was cool to see. And now it's slowly coming back because of the Olympics. Olympian, I believe, I'm not sure if she's like the silver, or she's definitely not gold medalist, because gold medalist female big girl was big girl Ron from Japan in the Youth Olympics, but Carlota was actually at the Olympics in Buenos Aires 2018, and was the Olympic competitor, one of the first ones with other B girls that was in that for Team France. And she is sponsored by Adidas. I remember seeing the picture, the picture on Instagram of with B girl Carlota, but I never actually see like, oh, that's just her showing off stuff like that. I kind of need to see some proof, but this one showed proof. So she's now like officially part of Adidas. She's part of the team, at least surrounding France, surrounding Paris, because I'm not sure if Adidas has a huge branch or anything that for like, certain people that are sponsored by Adidas go through, and you got a couple like the big cats, you got like like of course you got like other people that are sponsored by Adidas that are more known than Carlota. But when Carlota goes big, who knows, she might be actually climbing up there as the major in Adidas and seeing her in the commercial and stuff like that, or maybe having her own shoe, because that would be so cool. Let me tell you, that would be cool if Carlota, like we're gonna see the Adidas Carlotas, the Carlotas V9s or whatever, something like that, But other than that, pretty much, yeah, that's what I seen from story times, and there's pretty much proof in her Instagram. Bigo Carlota from France, and Carlota the Duke happens to have that set in her Instagram account. Other than that, pretty much, that's what I have in terms of clothing, at least for this time being. I know that I do want to talk about Pitbull, worldwide. No, pretty much Pitbull, and also with Zeku. So for some reason, has been popping out there, especially Stance putting it, Stance Elements in their Instagram. Actually, from what I've seen, this were my exposure to it. of seeing. But what I didn't know is that Zeku has been working with Pitbull for a while, especially with the early music videos, at least 3 years ago or something like that. And Zeku is pretty much touring with Pitbull with the crew, and actually, Pitbull is actually heavily inspired by Zeku, B-Boy Zeku, Monster B-Boys. Okay, Miami and Breaking, and pretty much me and Breaking. I think it's like called something like that. One of the top b-boys in the U.S. right now is B-Boy Zeku. He's like the most dopest, and he is inspiring a major like artist, like one of the top artists, pop artists, I believe, or something like that. I don't know. Pitbull is big. Okay, when he did that FIFA thing music video, it's crazy how a b-boy inspired him. So that was like major influence, and how they're working together is like it's really inspiring, and it's something that is unexpected that I probably never seen before, and it's like, whoa, this is it right here. This is crazy. So yeah, this is amazing. From seeing this, like from major athlete, I mean, not Pitbull is not athlete, major like artists, and something like that, and they have pretty much I seen it with Big Daddy Kane, with B-Boy Tata, and B-Boy Tata working with Big Daddy Kane. But with Pitbull, this is a whole nother large, like pretty much, yeah, Big Daddy Kane. I'm not, he's a good artist, good rapper, something like that. But we're talking about Pitbull. Like he's wide and large, okay? Like almost everyone knows him. And he's inspired by B-Boy Zeku. And believe it or not, Zeku, if you look at my Instagram account, which is called, DJ Vinzel Media, Zeku follows me. So a little something there to actually, give a little flex. I just got to, you know. I don't know. Life is good. Other than that, breaking is getting big, and it's slowly growing. From seeing, Big Girl Kanata being sponsored by Nike, and Carlota being sponsored by Adidas, and also then I see like Ginger Crew being sponsored by Nike, and also you got like Puma is supporting, like, I think I saw recently like Puma, what was it? B-Boy Siga from OBC Crew, Russia, is ambassador for Puma, from what I seen. I gotta see some proof, but that's why I seen this in the Instagram page. And also, speaking of Russia, just a little something here. B-Boy, gosh, I said B-Boy so many times did I in this video. I think I should stop. But B-Boy Fast Foot from the Predators crew is sponsored by two that I was still surprising, very surprising to me still to this day. Sponsored by North Face, but also sponsored by Sakani. I think I probably should put the last one. Like, I was about to say the last one as a surprise. I was like, nah, it's Sakani, because Sakani already, sponsored Jeremy and all that. And also Vicious Vic. But it's like, this is sort of like something that is slowly growing. I noticed a chain in a pattern of different sponsors that, that are actually seeing breaking, like, hey, maybe the B-Boy community can actually help us grow. I don't know. Other than that, I'll see you when I see you. Peace.